again at the Get Behind the Arts 2019, and I am with Beth Derry, at the Executive Director at the Lemon Street Gallery. And Beth, maybe for those who don't know about the Get Behind the Arts, what is it?
The Get Behind the Arts is a self-guided tour that people can take of individual artist studios that are not normally open to the public. So once a year, for 2 days, the Racine and Kenosha area artists open their studios up to the public, and it is an opportunity for people to see what goes on behind the arts.
Let's talk a little bit about Lemon Street Gallery. What is Lemon Street Gallery?
Lemon Street Gallery is a nonprofit artist collective, started in 1999 with 13 artists. We are now celebrating our 20th anniversary, and we have over 80 artists that are represented here. We offer classes in arts, and we have a professional venue in which artists can exhibit and sell their work. We have a full public clay studio that's open to the public, and we exhibit artwork in 12 other locations.
Do you have a website for people to get more information?
We do have a website. Our website address is simply lemonstreetgallery.org.
And the address here?
4601 Sheridan Road.
Well, Beth, once again, Lemon Street Gallery is an excellent gallery to come out to, and the Get Behind the Arts, we're going to talk to some artists here. And Beth, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rich Schmerling, and I'm here with Shelby Nesmith. We're talking to artists about Get Behind the Arts today. What can you tell me about what you're doing?
I'm screen printing on ceramics, and it's a very creative, fun process where you get to design your own screens, or there's commercial-made patterns already. And you get to have a lot of fun and create a lot of cool stuff, a lot of awesome detailed works. But yeah, that's what I'll be demoing today.
What got you involved in Get Behind the Arts?
I recently graduated from UW Parkside, and I'd lived not far away from this gallery, and they really took me in after graduating and made me feel comfortable post-academia. So it's very nice, a nice, comfortable space that really supports you as an artist, too.
Yeah, the Lemon Street Gallery is definitely a beautiful place, and it's good to hear that you're so involved.
Yes, thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell me about art in general?
Art in general, I do also a lot of other stuff. I do some bookbinding, and I do throwing, teaching intro to ceramics classes. So I have a soft cover class and a hardcover class for my books and my journals. Those will be in May and June. And that's all the classes that I have right now currently.
Do you have a website or a Facebook presence if people wanted to get a hold of you directly?
Yes. My business is under Fungus Among Us Art. And I have a website that is just Fungus Among Us Art.
Well, thank you very much for your time today.
All right. Thank you so much.
And I am with your name.
Betsy Davis.
And Betsy, what's your role here at Lemon Street Gallery? Get Behind there.
For Get Behind the Arts, I'm going to be down here in the wheel room throwing pottery on my pottery wheel. But I do run this clay studio here at Lemon Street. So I do teach classes and run all the firings and everything for people that do come in and make pottery here.
It's pretty interesting on how you create things out of clay. What can you create out of clay?
Anything. Me personally, I usually do functional work, so mugs and plates and bowls and things like that. But at clay will do whatever you want it to do. You just have to do it.
Yeah. Is that what you teach in the class, or do you see what people want to do with the clay?
Yeah, we do a beginner pottery class, so it's 2 nights on the wheel. So I just kind of show them the tools and the techniques, and then they're welcome to come back and make what they want. So usually for that class, we're doing little bowls. Things like that.
So right, you have here is a pound of clay here?
Oh, this is 25 pounds of clay. I'm going to be wedging it up and prepping it out to make some things on the wheel today. So we have to work it a little bit before it's ready.
About how long does it take from the clay to the actual bowl to make?
A few weeks.
Few weeks. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to dry, it's got to trim, it's got to dry, it's got to fire, you got to glaze it, you got to fire it again, and hope it works out. So there's lots of steps in between, a lot of waiting. So I do have some things on the shelf here in different various stages, so sometimes I forget what I've made, and then I'll be like, oh yeah. So
do you sell your work at
I do. I'm actually the featured artist in the Brick Gallery upstairs this month, so this is my last weekend, so you guys want to stop by and take a check at that. But I'm in the gallery all year round. So, yep.
So if they want to take one of your classes, should they just go on the Lemon Street Gallery website?
It's lemonstreetgallery.org, or they can call the gallery directly.
Now, do you have your own website to show off your work or Facebook page or anything?
Yeah, they're all Betsy Davis Pottery. So .com, Facebook, Etsy, all those platforms. Instagram, yeah. Yep.
Hi, I'm here with Jacob Pike, and we're interviewing artists today with Get Behind the Arts. Tell me what you're doing today.
I'm doing some wood turning, so I do a lot of bowls, hollow forms, and ornament turning.
How long have you been involved with Get Behind the Arts?
This is my first year.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard.
Thank you.
And what do you think of the Lemon Street Gallery so far?
It's been pretty good. So I've been here only a couple months now. So.
And your work's on display inside the gallery, I would assume?
Yep, I have a few items that are on display for the next couple months, and then I also brought some extras from recent things that I've just finished. So.
How long have you been involved personally in this type of art?
About 2 years. So.
And we'll take a look at some of your creativity behind us. Interesting work.
Yeah, and so this is just kind of the process from how we start with a tree from a log and how it gets cut, and then processed to drying, and then into the finished item.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for your time today.
All right, thank you.
I'm with your name.
Ajay Beatty.
Ajay, what's your role here at Get Behind the Arts?
Sure. I've been involved with the event for 3 years now, and this year I've decided to do some earth planter terrariums. If you look in the window, different variations of plants that normally grow inside, but I've turned them into kind of like more of a nature visual effect. And they're really good and just in time for Mother's Day, good gift, and just reminds people to grow all the time, like having a visual of something growing in front of you. I use glass so you can actually see the root system developing, and it's just a nice reminder that we're all from the earth.
Maybe for those who don't know what a terrarium is, what is a terrarium?
So it's basically taking a plant and creating an environment that could be enclosed or open. I do a different variation, again, using houseplants instead of the traditional like moss or succulents that you can cover up in like a little jar and let it just keep growing. And again, it's just, there's different ways to make them, but for the most part, you just create a false bottom with some rocks, or you're just imitating the layers of nature, basically. And the main goal is just to make it so that if it is enclosed, that you're not creating like bacteria buildup or anything. So again, there's a million ways to make them, but I try to keep it pretty easy. So if anyone walks in here and makes a purchase, they can go home and know that all they really have to do is just add some water now and then, and that's it.
Now, is this your specialty, or do you do other type of art?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I'm a professional choreographer. This year I got done choreographing 2 shows at Tremper High School and at K-Tech. Also taught part of Bradford's dance program earlier this year. And so I'm a choreographer and event catalyst in town. And the biggest thing I have going on with Lemon Street coming up on May 26th is our Good Deeds Day event. So everything's going to be here. There's a lot of community partnerships and sponsors, and the event is all about spreading kindness and just youth development, improving our economy, and just getting like kids and adults to pay attention to being kind.
And so why should someone go out and be involved in the arts?
Most people don't like to admit it, but like, you know, the statistic is like 1 in 3 people have a mental illness, whether they want to admit it or not. And art is the easiest, freest therapy there is out there. And whether it's planting in a garden and like creating that way, or painting, or just letting your energy flow out through your fingertips or your feet, I think art roots us, and it also connects us to each other. Galleries, especially like Lemon Street, are a hub for Kenosha, and we're so close to downtown. We have a big creative economy that's booming, and I know like where we're at right now is a big part of it. So
Okay, here we are at the Kenosha Creative Space at Get Behind the Arts, and I am with...
Francisco Loyola. How are you, Jason?
Good. Nice to see you. Always good to see you. What are we... Now, it's great that you're still part of Get Behind the Arts. What are you working on now?
This is actually our next community project, art community project. We are working with downtown Kenosha. TGs with transfer ownership, and they have new chairs. So they donated all the old chairs from TGs, and I consider it historical church. So and they are going to be decorated by local artists, and we will use it as a collaboration with downtown Kenosha. Probably they will be in July on different businesses along downtown, and we'll use it in a final action on July 16. Second Saturday of July, I don't remember this is 16 or not, in order to get a little fundraiser for us. So,
What's so special about Get Behind the Arts?
this is believe it or not, this is the 9th year of the tour. When we started the tour 9 years ago, it was a collaboration between independent artists in Racine and Kenosha, and it's still that way. I think that we are working under the umbrella of the Kenosha Community Foundation, but still the group that puts together the tour is independent artists from Racine and Kenosha. And it has been growing every year, and I think I believe the next year is going to even get bigger. So we had more participation. There is more studios in Kenosha this year, more artists participating.
If someone wants more information, do you guys have a website, the Kenosha Creative Space?
Yeah, we have a website, KenoshaCreativeSpace.com, but we're promoting most of our events through Facebook. So just find us on Facebook.
And the address here?
624 57th Street. If you want to put in your calendar, June 14 we're having our first fundraiser community report at the Estela. So we're going to have just put it on your calendar. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you,
Thank
Jason.
you so much, Francisco.
I'm Rich Schmerling. I'm here with Julia Schiller, and we're at the Get Behind the Arts event today. Tell me what it is your specialty.
Well, I'm an artist, but I use photography a lot as my main medium. And as you can see here, I do not just photography. This is a recent exhibit from Cuba. But I also use Polaroids to make I make a small image. You can see here, this is the original image. Then I use a machine to make a Polaroid, and then I boil it, and I peel the emulsion off, and then I can put the emulsion, for example, on metal or on wood or on watercolor paper. So you can see I do many different kinds of processes with photography.
And you do have a website, which is juliaschiller.com.
Yep, that's right. Feel free to check it out. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. I work a lot with Kenosha Creative Space, just spreading art to the community here. So yeah, check it out.
Okay, here we are at the Get Behind the Arts event at the Kenosha Creative Space, and I'm with your name.
Josie Rodriguez.
And Josie, what are you going to be showing off here at?
I'm here to demonstrate how to get tape started when you get it from the store. It's a tricky thing. No, actually, once I get this done, I am the Josie Store, which is comedy dressed in art. I'm basically a weird cross between a cartoonist and a comedian. So I do custom gift art and caricatures and digital illustration, but all comedic based. So don't call me for your portraits because I don't want to do them. And you can also send tape into me, and for 3 easy payments and then 1 really hard payment, $9.99, I will start the tape for you and then send it back in the mail finished.
Where did you get started in creating this art?
When I was 5 years old, I just was drawing, and it was like the cheap hobby. I'm looking at the microphone instead of you or the camera. When I was 5 years old, and it was, when I asked my mom, can I play an instrument? She was like, does it cost money? And I was like, yes. And then she's like, stick to your crayons. And that's what I did. Now I'm 36, and I stuck to my crayons. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, they're very, very good. Do you have your own studio in town?
If that's what you call an apartment, yes.
Studio apartment. And then what about your work? Can we look online and take
Yes, thejosiestore.com. I'm also on Instagram as Sock Monkey Studio. And Facebook is Sock Monkey Studio Josie. So, but really, I'm gearing it more towards the Josie Store because it's just all-encompassing. Because there's too many weird little knick-knacky, I can do too many custom things. So it was just broader. Okay. The end.
Hi, I'm Richard Schmerling. I'm here with Chelsea Snowden Smith.
That's correct.
tell us about Get Behind the Arts today.
So I actually got asked by Francisco, who's the owner of the Kenosha Creative Space, to come do a glow painting demonstration. I do a lot of glow in the dark and different UV responsive paints. So right behind you, I actually have a spur of the moment, entirely too big canvas that I decided to build this morning, just for the event. Just to kind of show how to build a canvas and get it gessoed, and then how to make a mess out of it.
Have you been involved with Get Behind the Arts before? Is this your first year?
This is actually my first year, and it's been a really great experience so far. I've never really had time to do this before. I just graduated from UW Parkside with a degree in science, so this is my way of making science out of art.
Do you have a website if anybody's interested in seeing some of your work?
Right now, I only have my Facebook, so if you want to tune into Chelsea Storm on Facebook, that's CHELS and then space Storm. I will be posting a website soon, so I'm actually getting that together. It's really exciting.
But there is definitely a Facebook presence.
Definitely. I post any paint night classes that I do on there, so I'll do some nautical ones for the sailing club in Milwaukee, or I'm hoping to get some going with Francisco here as well. So if you want to do any paint nights with glow in the dark or nautical themed stuff, that's where you should tune in.
Down Louisiana, close to New Orleans, back up in the woods, among them evergreen, stood a log cabin night, made of thin wood, little country boy named John. Never ever need to read a lot so well. Play guitar like it's ringing a bell. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. I said go now, go Johnny go. I said go, Johnny be good.
Okay, here we are at the Get Behind the Arts event, and now we are at Kemper Center. And I wasn't aware that there's an artist studio up here. And I'm sorry, your name?
I'm Anna.
Anna, you're an artist.
Yes, I'm an artist. I paint landscapes. I also do face painting and massage.
How did you get involved in art?
Artist all my life. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And you're doing now more landscape.
Yeah, so I've been out in nature more often and inspired by Wisconsin and Yellowstone and Lake Michigan and.
What do you use, acrylics or paint or what materials do you use?
Thank you. That's a good question. I use acrylics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
I enjoy bringing life to plastic because that's what acrylic is. So it resonates with me to take plastic and turn it into a landscape.
Yeah. You're at this event, but are there other events that you showcase your work?
As of right now, this is the only place to find my art.
Okay.
I'm growing. I'm rebuilding. I've had a lot of. I had a lot of art in Portland. I used to have a crawl-in art gallery. It was only 3.5 feet high. It was 10 feet by 10 feet. We had 2 years worth of art shows in there. It was great. It was fun. And then I moved to Chicago, reboot. And then, I've been doing massage and face paint. And now finally I'm at Kemper and I have this nice studio and I'm part of this nice community. Yeah. And it's a growing community and it's a beautiful place on the lake with the waves and you can watch the water.
A lot of inspiration for it.
All of these paintings are since last October. It's when I moved in. So, yeah.
Do you have an online presence, like a Facebook?
Yes. AnnaTodaroSadur.com. AnnaTodaroSadur.com.
Hi, I'm Rich Schmerling. I'm here with Deb Vega inside the beautiful Kemper Center at her studio. Tell me about your workspace here.
Well, we've been here, I share with Brigitte Richter. We're sharing a studio here. And we've been here since about September. And we're both acrylic artists. We kind of do some open studio type thing with our friends. On Tuesdays, we kind of open up our studio to friends and challenge each other, I guess, a little bit. But we love it here.
Now, is this your first year with Get Behind the Arts?
Yes, this is my first year. I've always been the one going and seeing everybody else's studios. So since this is the first year that Kemper's been open, we thought we'd be a part of it. So.
Is this your first year with a studio inside the Kemper Center?
Right, yes, because Kemper just opened up their studios in September.
Oh, okay.
So we have, I think, about 4 or 5 that are still available if anyone is interested. You can get the studio for yourself, or like Gitta and I do, where we share it.
Very good. Is there anything, do you have like a web presence for your art?
I actually do not. I think that my partner Gitta may have, but I'm kind of a beginner, so I'm not really that established yet.
No social media presence, Facebook or anything?
Nope. This is really my first venture into showing my artwork, so I'm getting there.
Yeah, well, you do have some very beautiful stuff, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, here we are at the Get Behind the Arts event, and here we are at Kemper Center, and I am with your name?
I am Anna White.
Anna, nice to see you today. Now, you're an artist here in the studio.
Yes, I am.
I was not aware that Kemper had an artist studio. How long have you been in this studio?
I've been here about 6 months.
Really? Okay. For those who don't know, let's hear what you do artwork, and let's hear what you do.
My focus is mainly oil painting, and then I concentrate on portraits, and I love birds and just people in general. So I've been painting probably about a year or so now, and just absolutely love it, and it's just a beautiful opportunity to be able to come here and create and have your own space.
How did you get involved in oil painting?
I took a class over at Parkside.
Okay, and then from there, and then you chose birds as your subject?
Yep, I've always loved birds and people. And then I have also taken classes at MIAD in Milwaukee, and I studied figure drawing and animation for a long time.
Really?
So, yep.
So how long does it take you to oil paint one of your birds?
Usually at least a month or so. Yeah, oil painting is very tedious, and you're very patient, waiting for it to dry and catching it at the right moment.
Portraits behind you?
Yep, I usually photograph them myself, whoever I choose to do or find interesting, and over time I hope to just continue to do it and perfect it and explore.
Where do you get some of your inspiration for?
I work at a tavern downtown in Kenosha, and I'd say a lot of my patrons kind of inspire me, and my family and friends also. So.
Do you have a website or a Facebook presence that we can see your work?
I honestly don't. I'm a beginning artist, and that's my goal is to eventually set something up, Instagram, and get it out in the world. So this is the first steps.
Jill Fredrickson, welcome to Little Puppet Company.
And Little Puppet Company, I've not heard of that, but it's a great demonstration here you got going on. What is the Little Puppet Company?
Well, Little Puppet Company does shows for both kids and adults. We do workshops, and we make puppets and masks.
And how did you get involved in making puppets?
I started making puppets and masks for theater companies when I was in college about 25 years ago.
They're just fascinating to watch. In fact, you got one here. Let's hear about that.
This is Doug the dog.
Okay. Wow. What's so special about those puppets? You bring them alive. That's
You have to find the breath of them, and once they have breath, then they have life, and they're just fun to play with. The great thing about puppets is you can be anyone. You can be the dog. You can be the prince. You can be the princess. You're not limited by who you are in the flesh.
So you have to come up with these characters. Where do you come up with some of the inspiration?
Oh, a lot of things come out of stories. Doing a lot of kids shows, we do a lot of kids stories. Most recently, we did Little Red Hen and Friends. So, chickens, geese, and a very important piece of toast.
Was there ever a challenging character that you put together?
Every puppet has its own challenges. There is often a moment when you hit the, how do I go from here? But I would say one of the harder builds I had was most recently when I learned how to do a more Muppet-style character for the cow.
Where can we see performances of the Little Puppet?
Well, Little Puppet Company doesn't have anything booked just this moment. I'm working on putting together a group of folks who want to walk in the parade on June 30th for our 4th of July parade. So if you're interested in doing puppets and having a walk down the way with a giant puppet, I encourage you to get in touch with me. You can find me on our website or follow us on Facebook.
If anybody want more information, do you have a website or a Facebook group?
We do. We are littlepuppetco.com.
Well, we thank you so much for coming out to Get Behind the Arts, and thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're really glad to meet you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed Get Behind the Arts 2019. Did you, Rich?
I absolutely did, and we'll look forward to it again next year, and thank you.
All